We are in London with Paul, who is an Anglican priest, Church of England, but you have a very special story. You are married, not a traditional marriage.
That's right. I am in a same-sex marriage. I married my husband, converted our civil partnership into a marriage in June of this year.
You said that God loves us all. Does it make a difference between people according to gender or other things?
As a gay man who is a priest in the Church of England, one of the difficulties I face is that the Church is very hostile to the lesbian and gay community, and so we get a message that we are sinful and we need to change our nature. But in fact, my experience of having a relationship with God is, and what has helped me to flourish as a human being, is the understanding that God, despite what the Church says, God loves every single person that God has made, and He loves us utterly, and He likes us for who He's made us to be. And so understanding that love of God sets us free to not require the approval of other human beings, but to be able to be who we are, to live out the particular attributes we have, to express the desires we have, and to be able to love the people we love. And that comes through that deep understanding of the love of God for all of God's creation. That we live in a world which is good, and we are created to enjoy the goodness of God's creation. We're part of the goodness of God's creation, and we are also called to love other people in the same way that God loves everyone equally as He's made us.
And in your speech, you also stress that you are working in a working class part of London.
That's correct. I work in Peckham. Peckham's changing quite fast, but the congregation who comes to my church is very much a working class congregation, which is a mixture of kind of old Peckham, white working class, combined with people who came from the Caribbean in the 50s and 60s, and more recently people who've come over from Africa. So it's quite a mixed congregation, but quite different to the new influx of middle-class white city people.
There are now in the West in the Western world, many winds of hate. Are you afraid that London, which is a very diverse city, could be also affected by these winds or not?
I'm not, because I think London is stronger than that. And we're speaking the day after we learned of Donald Trump's election victory in the United States, and we're speaking in the context of the changes that have happened after the Brexit referendum in this country. We are seeing a rise in hate crime, but we need to hold on to the reality of the fact that 99% of people are good people, and we need to continue to enjoy the life that God has given us, to continue to love other people as part of God's children, and we know that that will triumph in the end. So this is a little blip in the history of the world where we have to face down the haters and trust that love will prevail.